Hey dudes, this is a video for just my clanmates. We have a 350 clan match coming up in a couple weeks, and we're aiming to do well enough to hopefully get the Act Hygogg. That's I guess I'm dating this video, but instead of having people sit down and do training uh, across our limited schedules, I thought it'd be a little more helpful to have a resource because I think resources on GBO2 are scarce, especially in English, to talk about a few suits of each type at the cost that we're going to be playing the clan match at, and we'll talk about it. So the first thing I want to do is talk about the Hygogg. The Hygogg is arguably the best suit at the best general suit at its cost. It has skills that have no business being in 350, that being a combination of emergency evasion 2, which means that you can roll twice if you're above 90% thruster. It might be more less than that. Hold on a second. We have 85%. If you're above 85% thruster, you can dodge roll twice. You can dodge roll once without overheating. We have maneuver armor level 1, which means that regular staggers are reduced by a grade when you're boosting, but there's no stagger percentage mitigation with this maneuver level 1. However, we have damage control too. This increases the threshold in which the Hygogg needs to be staggered by 60%. It goes from 100 to 130 for level 1 damage control, and then 130 to level 160 to level 2 damage control. The Hygogg has basically no weakness. It has an evergreen skill set. It has Balancer. Obviously, you need Balancer. It has a little bit of leg shock absorbers. It has melee. Has anti-blast, and it has aquatic mobile shooting. Aquatic mobile shooting is not relevant for this clan match. We're not going to talk about it. And its main weakness is that it is very wide, but the shoulder buffers on its shoulders do reduce the damage it takes on those shoulders by 30%. So it's not too big of a deal. The only time it's a big a deal is when you are getting attacked by something with high stagger percent, like an anti-air gun. This is the shortcut that I use. It's pretty standard. I always have my Vulcans. I always have my Vulcans on the square plus X. That's where I put all of my high-speed movement Vulcan options. The Hygogg can be built pretty much any way. This is the way I recommend doing it if you have it max enhanced. The Hygogg starts with only 10 melee strength, and because of that, you get a very large return on increasing its melee stat. To better explain this is that the Hygogg has a very powerful downside multiplier. It is something like where is it? It is something like 260, so it's 130, 130 for both of its slaps, which is incredible. It is an incredible suit with a very powerful downswing. And when you go from, I don't know if I want to get, I'm not going to get too into mathematics because this is a video game, but the closer you are to 100, the more of a return that stat will give you when you invest into it. So if you start at 0 melee strength and you increase the melee stat by 10, you go from 100% to 110%. That's a 10% increase. In this case, we're going from 110, because it starts with 10, to 130. That's not exactly a 20% increase, but it is close to it. I think it's about 17, 18%, which is more than if you went from 190 to 199. That's not truly a 9% increase. That's like not even 5. I think it's like 190 divided by 10. That's 1.9% per, and then you increase it by like 9. Yeah, it's not even that. It's like 5% more. So you can, if you want to do the math on it, it's there. In terms of expansion slots, I would just roll with whatever you can get. Anything that's level 3 or more is fine. Here is a build that uses HP to attack to HP, which is very effective in low cost. I think that the Hygogg does need some thruster, so at least put in this. Usually I would put more than this, but we're going pretty much all in on composite frame and the melee program, so we can get higher amounts of damage. HP is always good at low cost. It's better than resists, and because I have attack to HP, I turned my level 3 ranged into level 2 and 1 to further separate it out and get more HP, as well as using this test type irregular DBL because it's an attack part that costs 0 that has no downsides. If I didn't have this suit maxed out, which some of you guys don't, I would run this instead if you have the extra pips. If you don't have the extra pips, I would probably cut, well, I would probably cut this, and I cut this. You can make it work. You make it work around your build. Here's an example of a build with Ox Armor. If you want to run Ox Armor, I think Ox Armor is a great skill for the Hygoggs because you can run the field motor and turning speed is really good on the Hygogg. Let's take a spin and get to the nitty gritty here. We're only gonna take as much time as we need. We've already been here 5 minutes. We are going to just get right to it. We are on Mass Driver for this mission, so I guess I'll start in here. There's only a few things that I want to go over with each suit, and it's the homework I talked about earlier. What is the point of my suit? What percentages are all my weapons? Can I do it in high-speed movement? And then any other notable things. Let's talk about each weapon. And oh shit, that's here. That's fantastic. Okay, I need to remember that for later. Let's talk about the Hygogg Beam Cannon. Hygogg Beam Cannon has a couple problems. As you can see, it shoots from the left if I'm moving to the right, and it shoots from the right if I'm moving to the left. This is bad, because if I am doing this, you can see that my gun shot on the left side. That's not good. You have to somewhat change your mentality when you're going for an enemy. If you know an enemy is around this corner, rather than strafing right into it, you should do this. Move forward, and then turn left. Turn left into it. Like so. So this is what a normal suit would have to do. It's not going to work. In a regular suit, in the Hygogg, you have to go like this. Turn into the enemy, and then do that. Let's go over the shooting on this weapon. It is 40% per hit. 1, 2, 3. 3 hits is 120%. So 3 shots will stun pretty much every general, and it will stun any raid that has. Honestly, it will just stun any raid, because 120 is. Pretty sure 120 is enough to stagger anything. You need 110% to stagger MA2. But here's a kicker. Hygogg also exists in this cost. The Hygogg has to shoot the Hygogg. How many does it take to stun the Hygogg? 1, 2, 3, 4. Takes 4 shots to stun the Hygogg at DC 2, or damage control 2. Keep that in mind. You have 6 shots before you can overheat. So try not to miss. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully you don't have to use more than that. If you do overheat, don't worry about it. We have plenty of other options at our disposal. We'll get back to Hygogg in a second. We have a missile launcher. The missile launcher is on our left arm, which means we can't shoot it like that. We can't shoot it from peeking to the right. What do we do with this thing? Well, we have a good option in that, ironically, because it is from our left. It is actually somewhat effective at shooting from this angle. Even though I can't see the suit, we can shoot from this corner without heavily exposing ourselves. This is the same thing you can do for any Sternfaust. See how I blind fired him? I assumed where he was based on the map. I shot from my left. He can still shoot my shoulder. Don't get me wrong. You can still shoot the Hygogg shoulder, but this is an option that you have. The torpedo, the left torpedo tube, has an 80% stagger rating, which is really good. It's really good at shooting a raid that is moving towards your support. A hand missile plus 1 beam rifle is 120. Once again, which should stop pretty much any raid. The Vulcans that we have are shooting boost. They have a 5%. They have a 5% stagger percentage, which means you need 20 to stagger anything without damage control. You have to use you're gonna have to connect the whole mag if you want to stagger something like another Hygogg. So I wouldn't recommend it on a Hygogg, but if you had to, the option's there. Check this out. I think I missed some. Hold on a second. 30 times 5 is 150, right? I definitely missed some. Oh god. Oh, it's 160. That's right. We're 10 short. So the Vulcans will not cut it. The Vulcans have a really good reload time of 6 seconds, so I would recommend using them all the time. All right, let's talk about. This is something you can do in maneuver armor. So you can use it to get your confirmed combos. Let's talk about the other thing that we can use while high speed and why the Hygogg is so good. The torpedo tube. You can shoot the torpedo tube while you're boosting, and they do 80 times 80. This will stagger anything at this cost. Anything, including itself. Because you're doing 80-80. That's 160. 160 is enough to stagger the Hygogg. There's a problem with this, though. The angle in which you shoot the missile is a little low. Especially when you're boosting, because the Hygog's frame tilts downward for a little bit. So if you want to use it, aim a little higher than what you're trying to hit, and you should be able to make your mark. Last thing before we finish up, I want to keep these short. The goal of the Hygogg is to get its infamous downswing, the stab slap. It does 130 times 2, 130, 130, 260%. There are two ways to do this that I recommend you do. First, get a stagger with either the beam cannon, the machine cannon, the missile launcher, or any combination of those things. Bait the enemy's roll if they have a roll. Once they roll, start boosting towards them because you have maneuver room and they don't, and they can't stagger you out of anything unless they're Hygogg. Then proceed to do this. Stagger, downswing, cancel out of the way, and then do it again. If you do this just right, you will get double downswing, which is 130, 130, 130, 130. That is a lot of damage. I think it's 520. 520% is a lot of damage. It will kill almost anything at the cost. So to review, 3 shots will stun almost anything. 4 shots will stun the Hygogg. The machine cannon will stagger most things in 20 shots. Some raids will take a little more than that, the whole full mag. This thing reloads every 6 seconds. It's very spammable. The missile launcher shoots from the left, does 80%. Really good in combination with the machine cannon. The torpedo, boost shooting, tossable. Probably your greatest way of getting a downswing. The torpedo into downswing is a true combo. This is not dodgeable. You cannot dodge out of this combo. Which means once you hit something with a torpedo and you assume it'll stun, which it should because it's doing 160% build stun, you can get the double downswing. And lastly, the Hygogg shoots from the left when it's moving to the left. Instead, when you're cornering, walk forward and turn to the left instead. Instead of strafing to the left, or instead of strafing to the right, instead be at the right and turn into the corner. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next suit.